Hello, everyone. My name is Priyakshi. The electric commercial vehicle market is heating up. After electric L3 and then L5 cargo three wheelers, we expect a new range of four-wheeler commercial EVs to enter the India's logistics space. Tata Motors has already launched Ace EV and delivered the first fleet to institutional customers. And the recent Auto Expo witnessed a lot many companies showcasing four-wheeler commercial vehicles, including Jupiter Electric Mobility. As I'm sure most of you would know, Jupiter Electric Mobility is the EV arm of Jupiter Wagons, a publicly listed company with a legacy of over 4 decades in the manufacturing business. Today, we are pleased to have Mr. Vivek Lohia, Managing Director at Jupiter Wagons, to tell us more about their EV products and plans. Welcome, Mr. Lohia.
Yeah. Good morning, Priyakshi. Thank you for the introduction. Uh, as you're aware, that Jupiter is a company which is involved in the engineering sector, and we have about 4 decades of experience, and we have been in the cutting edge of that sector, especially in if you talk about the Indian Railways. Today, we are the leading manufacturers of freight cars and brake systems, and we are working with all the major players globally. So we decided to enter the EV space about 2 years back, since we were already working with a lot of the major OEMs in the commercial space for the last decade or more. We were mainly doing their load body fabrication for them. So we had a considerable exposure to the auto sector. And since we got access to the EV technology, so we felt that it was the right space to enter. And if you look at the last mile connectivity in India, that is the light commercial vehicles and the 1 ton, 2 ton payload trucks, we feel that is the correct market right now to enter this segment, because if you look at our cities, uh, you see a huge amount of environmental challenges in terms of pollution, in terms of congestion and things like that. And we feel that the electric vehicle fits in the right bracket, because at a LCV and at a low payload vehicle, it makes a lot of commercial sense as compared to an IC engine for the person who's running the vehicle.
Understood. Understood. So you showcased two vehicles at the Auto Expo. One was a 4 ton payload vehicle and one was a 1 ton payload vehicle. So can you tell us more about what applications you are targeting with these vehicles?
Okay, so let me start with the 1 ton payload vehicle.
Mhm.
So this vehicle has been completely designed by us indigenously, and so when we are planning to commercially launch that vehicle in the third quarter of this year,
Mhm.
and it'll have more than 80% localization, so it's fully make in India vehicle. Now there are 4 5 very distinct advantages which we are providing in that vehicle compared to whatever vehicles are today available in the market. One is that obviously we are giving a 1 ton payload, which currently no vehicle in this segment provides. Second is we are giving two battery options. One is an LFP battery and one is a LTO battery. Now, the good thing about an LTO battery is that we are giving a fast charge option.
Mhm.
So the vehicle has a range of 100 kilometers, and within 2 hours you can fast charge it and then run for another 100 kilometers.
Mhm.
Third, for the LTO battery pack, we are giving a 10-year warranty.
Oh.
Okay. And so today, if you look at the market space, the maximum warranty is about 5 years. So we are giving a 10-year warranty, as well as we are providing lease on the battery. So upfront today, a customer doesn't have to pay the cost of the battery.
Mhm.
And thirdly, after 3 years, we are also giving him a assured buyback. On top of it, our vehicle has about 80-watt peak motor as well as a 23% gradient. So
Mhm.
that gives it a lot of torque. Because again, one of the challenge with EV vehicles is that there's not enough torque or gradability which is there. So it's above the industry standard. Generally, if you look at ARI, the standard is 18%. We are giving a 23% credibility, as well as we are giving a 80 kilowatt torque, whereas standard, if you look at, say, a Tata Ace or something, I think they're close to about 20 or 40 kilowatt.
Mhm.
So, these are distinct advantages. And then finally, what we are doing is that this vehicle is going to be a completely connected vehicle, where what we are promising the customer is that we are creating our own data center where we are going to monitor all the vehicles constantly. And in terms of maintenance, we are looking more at a preemptive kind of a maintenance rather than once the vehicle goes down and then we react to the customer complaint, because from the battery pack to the tire pressure, everything is going to be monitored remotely. For the 7-ton vehicle again, which we are again planning to launch the vehicle this year itself. The again that is going to offer a 4-ton payload, which I don't think today there is any vehicle in the industry offering that. We are introducing two battery sizes, 60 kilowatt and 120 kilowatt. The 60 kilowatt will give a range of 200 kilometers. The 120 kilowatt will give a range of anything between 250 to 300 kilometers.
Mhm.
And again, this has a fast charge of 2 hours. That option is there.
And you talked about the timelines you have. What are your manufacturing plans? Where are you planning to manufacture both of these vehicles?
So both the vehicles will be manufactured in Indore. We
Okay,
already have existing manufacturing facilities, which we are currently augmenting it to produce both the vehicles. So
understood.
as I told you, the smaller vehicles we are planning to launch in the third quarter.
Mhm.
And for the bigger vehicle, initially it will be in a CKD form, because this is a vehicle which has been designed with
Yep.
the Green Power Motor Company, who's a global partner for
Mhm.
this particular model. And this model has been successfully running in the North American market. There are
Mhm.
more than 1,000 vehicles running today in the North American market.
Yep.
So initially it will be in CKD form, but we are very hopeful that by next year we can start manufacturing these vehicles in India. And the plan is to use India as the global sourcing hub for green power, not only for the Indian business as well as for the global business.
Okay. And for initial batch, how many units are you planning to manufacture every year?
So initially our capacity will be about 500 vehicles monthly.
Okay.
So, and then depending upon how the market shapes up, we are going to augment the production.
Right. This is for
So
stage, right? For the one
for
ton,
the smaller vehicle.
for the smaller vehicle.
Smaller
Yes.
vehicles, and the bigger vehicle, as I told you initially, will be in the SKD
Mhm.
form. And then depending upon how the market response, the market responses to that vehicle, we are going to set up the production facilities accordingly.
Okay. So ultimately, the adoption will depend on achieving the cost parity. So, has your team done any analysis as to what you are trying to price this vehicle and overall the total cost of ownership if you compare with the corresponding ICE vehicles, where would your vehicle stand?
So I think we are, as I told you today, if you compare to an ICE vehicle, there is a distinct price advantage which we are giving to our customer.
Okay.
So I think uh, if broad number, if you look at per month, we can guarantee a saving of anything between 30 to 50,000 rupees, depending upon the usability of that, how much a customer is using that vehicle. The way we are looking at it, for a customer, within 2 to 3 years, he gets a payback on his vehicle. That
Okay.
is so. One is the environmental, definitely, but in terms of commercially also, it makes huge sense for the customer to own this vehicle. And thirdly, the driver comfort and the if you look at globally, the downtime again for and the maintainability, serviceability of a battery vehicle is always much better than a IC engine vehicle. So in terms the customer gets a better runtime, he gets a better serviceability, he gets a completely connected vehicle. So there's a lot of distinct advantages. So the way we see is today, say for the this segment in India, this segment is around close to about 500,000 vehicles are sold every year.
Mhm.
So even if you can, so over the next 5 years, we are looking at a penetration of at least 10%,
Mhm.
which is about close to 50,000 to 1 lakh vehicles.
Okay. And do you have a range of the purchase cost, the initial acquisition cost these two vehicles will have?
So we have more or less I right now I'm not at liberty to
Mhm.
uh, reveal the prices, but what I can tell you that it's going to be very competitive,
Mhm.
and it'll be very similar to whatever competition is there, and we are offering a much better product compared to our competition, and but again the pricing is going to be very competitive.
And in terms of distribution strategy, are you also looking at institutional clients first, or will you be open for retail as well?
So initially, definitely we are looking at institutional penetration because that's where the market is currently.
Mhm.
But parallelly, we are also opening it up for retail. So it will be both institutional as well as a mix of retail. But definitely, I think the first penetration will happen at the institutional level.
Do you have any recommendations for the policymakers as to how we can push and promote the use of cargo vehicles, especially now the heavier vehicles will start to come in the electric space? So, any what policy push do you think can help take
So
up?
I think initially for the heavier, so right now FAME subsidy is limited to a 2-ton truck. Beyond that, maybe there are not enough products in the market, but I think the government has to also start looking at FAME subsidy because that's a very crucial bridge. For the penetration to happen, that's a very crucial bridge, and there the local content, because since there's not enough volumes, so you may not have that level of localization. So that also the government has to keep in mind for the higher payload vehicles as compared to the smaller payload vehicles. I think that is very critical. That is one area where the government should look at. And I think the most important again is the charging infrastructure penetration. I think that is the key. As and when that keeps on getting augmented, you will find by default more and more penetration of these kind of vehicles.
Okay. Okay, so wish you all the best, and we really look forward to the launch of Tez and CC Star. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.